Hello, that's Greg Oden. He made the cover of the greatest basketball game ever made. This is Connor Vach, also known as Xboxing and Mr. Know-It-All, bringing pure omnipotence. College Hoops 2K8. This video is going to explain why it's better than NBA 2K9 and what NBA 2K10 needs to do to top it. At first, it's worth mentioning what happened to College 2K. Why isn't there a College 2K9 and 10? Simply put, Take-Two and NCAA, they couldn't come to an agreement. It happened. It's unfortunate because we lost NFL 2K5, which I don't think it wasn't the best sports game. I'd have to give that to Pro Evolution Soccer. It wasn't the best sports game of the last generation, but it was certainly the most ambitious. It was better than Madden 2005. I want to be fair. This is a tough love comparison to NBA 2K9. NBA 2K9 is probably better in more aspects than College Hoops 2K. It's better than College Hoops 2K in more areas, but not the important areas, as you'll see in a moment. Visual concepts, they listen to the fans, but they're too hung up on what NBA Live is doing. I mean, they took the ticker. When Live added trivia, they added trivia or DNA. And at the same time, their college game, which came out a year before, is better in the fundamentals. I mean, starting off with on-the-fly options, which really isn't a big deal. But one simple thing they do is you can set up the matchups with the reserve. So that means you don't really need to do it on the fly because you can do that on the reserves. You can do that before the game. And then you can do the pressure on the fly, which just gives you an extra option during the pressure. Then passing is, anybody that's played NBA 2K9 knows it's way too easy to pass. Here, I just put Curry at point guard just to show how easy it is. And you can throw too many jump passes, no-look passes without being penalized. I mean, you should be able to throw some of those now and then, or even half the time. But in NBA 2K9, you can throw them whenever. In college hoops, mediocre passers, even good passers, make mistakes. Like this shooting guard I have is a lousy passer. He throws an inbound pass right to the defender. You have plenty of unforced errors when it comes to passing, maybe too many. So what you end up with is a pass rating that means something instead of just, can you throw lobs or not? That's all the pass rating is in NBA 2K9. Here you have Curry, dime passes, it's easy. College Hoops 2K, an average passer with a good opportunity, somebody that can dunk, can toss the lob when it's defensible. I think both games have some yin and yang to the lob system. With the vert dunk, it's more realistic in the college game, better than NBA 2K8 and 2K9. You got to gather. Only certain people can do it. I think more forward should be able to do it. But you have a realistic amount of vertical dunks. And as you can see right here, they're defensible. It's not something you can abuse, but it's something you feel like, if you get in position, you can get, with the right play. And right here, you got to gather. You expose the ball. It gets stripped. This is a computer stripping me. Guy just gets his hand there. The transition defense, they get in better position. They also have a higher awareness for stripping the ball. Maybe too good at stripping the ball. But the main thing is they get in position. They force you to change your shots, especially when it's player versus player. They force you to use a shot stick, maybe pull up for the jump shot, look for the lob. This point guard, I recruited him because he has quick hands. Not that great of an offensive player, but And this center, that guy, he only ended up staying. He's the only player to leave after 2 years. And he didn't start. But see, in NBA 2K9, I mean, Webster should make him square up, and then Odin can come to help out. Also, with ball handling, they make the errors. There's unforced errors just like there is in passing. They had that in NBA 2K8, and they removed it. College hoops, it works out well because it's realistic. Even the great ball handlers, they'll mess up from time to time. And then if you try to get too frisky with someone that can't handle the ball, they'll make a clown out of himself. Like here, this guy loses his handle, but he keeps it, gets his shot up. It just feels more like a real game. I mean, that's a good ball handler, but he catches it right in front of somebody, bad place, loses the ball. I got a power forward, good ball handler, but he's not great. He'll occasionally do stuff like that. And good defense can also cause errors. I mean, this is a star player right now, good ball handler, but I'm trying to do too much, force my way up, they poke it away. I dribble in the paint, you can't do that in the paint. Even the big men, they got long arms, they'll poke it away. But in NBA 2K9, I'm playing this guy online, he comes through with I think that's Mark Gasol. I'm right there using Batum, going for the steal. In college hoops, you can't just walk in, put the ball down, right in somebody's lap, That ain't working. Somebody's gonna punch that ball away. Blake would have did it. Aldridge or Batum, they would have made that play. But you can do this in NBA 2K9 with almost any player. I could do it with Aldridge, even Odin at times against certain players. And then they got this. Why is Roy Hibbert doing the behind the back dribble? You see this a lot in NBA 2K9. Sometimes you see in the college game. You've been seeing this in visual concepts games for too long. I mean, like right here, they don't control well in the post. I'm just trying to drop step to the left. I got Ginobili on Odin. I just want to make a little move to the left. He ends up jerking it, and I have to pull back because I think he's going out of bounds, and he does some weird crossover and ends up way out of position when he was in good position to score, and he ends up jerking out, and then Thomas can get over there. And like right here, Hibbert should have the steal, but it's too easy to pass. And I just want to take a step to the right and the outside. And he ends up jerking way outside and thinking he's going out of bounds. And Aldridge does a behind the back dribble that he wouldn't do. And it's not the speed of the players, because players really don't have their just speed ratings, the big men at least. So I gave, Wilcox is a speed burner in real life. He ran the 3/4 court time faster than Brandon Roy. So I give him his just speed. It's not the ratings, because even without the, without how I tweaked the ratings for bigs, they still move around. Like, look at Boom. That's a computer using him, and he's jerking around like that. So it just doesn't make any sense, because NBA 2K8 wasn't this jerk, and you can kind of use that jerky dribbling, to get to the basket whenever you want. With Blake, all I do right here, and Mason's guarding him, and what Mason's doing, I don't know. His defense is better than that, and all I do is just move to the basket, and he palms the ball in a way he shouldn't be able to do. And you don't really need to use much ISO motion. Just move around, jerk around, and go to the basket. College hoops, you see the big men kind of have that clumsy dribble to them. Guys that don't have the high ball handling rating. That's an ABL game. And then if you catch the ball in the paint, right in front of somebody, they'll make a play. Most of the time. If you don't put the ball, where it's supposed to be, if you're a big man, you want to, put the ball up high, they'll knock it away. You expose the ball right there, tipped away. Right here, I want to make a drop step, make a good move. They make a play on it. The post game is just far superior in the college game. The Ohio State version of Greg Oden plays a lot more like Greg Oden than the Trailblazer version of Greg Oden. It's the truth, and I'm more of an NBA fan, and I'll tell it like it is. Look at that. You even got I hope that ain't UCLA. You got bloopers. So I'm saying get this game. Maybe it'll send a message to Take-Two and NCAA if people go out and grab some copies. One thing I like to do when I recruit players is change their face, as you can see, so they don't all look the same. Because these are all recruits. These aren't real players, even though you can use file share and get real players. Here I'm using Eddie Curry, and I can just, go where I want on the court, dribble through the paint. It's the Pistons. Somebody's got to knock that ball away. And why isn't more people around him? He's the obvious threat. On-ball defense, much better. I don't care what anybody says. The stance is a lot better in the college game. The thing I don't like about the stance in NBA 2K9 is several things. Right here, you can't get in the stance when you want. You have to be at a certain distance from the player. I'm using Roy. I want to get in the stance right now and kind of slide down, towards the block and cut Parker off and make him make a move to avoid the charge. But I can't even get the stance, and Parker's too fast. He just goes right by me. I should be able to get in the stance and slide with him, but you can't, because you can't get it until you get in there until there's a certain distance, and it's jerky. It doesn't control as well as the college game. Right there, why is Blake jerking around like that? And then when you play off, a lot of times you'll back out and you'll lose the stance and they'll just walk. But right there you can see the player I'm using Arkansas. I'm a Razorback fan. I'm in the stance as soon as I want to be. And you get in the stance earlier and force them to make a move, make them pull up. So yeah, check part 2. Yeah, part 2 is pure omnipotence from Mr. Know-It-All. You'll see.